How is this? This gufa we need to understand. What the reason that there was a need, there should be an introduction of the exile of Mitzrayim and leaving Egypt, is understood. Why? Because through this they refine the sparks of Kedusha, these sacred sparks in the whole world. Which the sparks, Chassidus Kabbalah explains, is that when there was the collapse of the world of Elam Hateo, which is called the world of chaos. So there was 288 sparks that descended in different Nahoris, in different rivers. Nilos, Nahar Mitzrayim, in Euphrates, in different Nahoris. And it says when they went out of Mitzrayim, they took, from the 288, they took 202 sparks that they redeemed. So since then, Yidden went through all the different exiles, completing and redeeming the 86 remaining sparks. And the Rebbe asked an obvious question, the Chayeda, why should it take so long? The answer is because the ones that were doing the job then and the ones that are doing the job in later years are different professionals. The ones that were doing it in Egypt, Mitzrayim, were general neshamas, which means 600,000 Yidden were there. Each one was a general neshama, soul that included many souls in itself, and therefore had a stronger potential, therefore was able to cover more in order to redeem and liberate these sparks and elevate them back to their spiritual destination. On the other hand, in the later generations, that the neshamas are a lower class, so therefore it takes more time and there's more work to do. So therefore it's a longer extension. Ubefrat, so what is the Indian? Why Dafke Egypt? So the Rebbe says because Egypt had most. And this is also connected, it seemed like, with what when Yosef was in Mitzrayim, it says that the Yidden, when Yosef was in Mitzrayim, they came from all over the world. They came from everywhere buying food in Mitzrayim. B'meila, they left money in Mitzrayim. The money that they left is connected with their sparks. Everything that belongs to a Yid, every spiritual property, is a spark that he owns. There's a spark hidden there. And therefore the Baal Shem Tov says, Chasa Kodesh Baruch Al Mamenim Shel Yisrael, that the Eibishter had pity on the money of a Yid, because every part of the money of a person has sparks which need to be utilized and elevated, and by using the money in a right way, and in a positive way, and in a sacred way, so then a person redeems the sparks that are in this money. For goodness, for kindness, for holiness. So therefore the Rebbe says, through this, there is a refinement of sparks in the whole world. And then the Rebbe specifies, Ubefrat, ha-nitzutze shebe-Mitzrayim, the nitzutzes, the sparks in Mitzrayim, shahoyu reva nitzutzes, they were most of the sparks. K'mesha kosev v'gam rav, erev rav, ole itam. Erev Rav, a whole group went with them. V'isa b'kisvi Arizal, and it says in Kisvi Arizal, the Rave, Gematria Rav, that the Reish Beis is a numerical value of the word 202. 202 sparks of Kedusha left Egypt. V'koi al Reish Beis hanitzutza shenesbareru b'Mitzrayim, that were refined in Mitzrayim, etechra pach nitzutza from 288. And this is also what we say Friday night, that vatokom bei laila vatitin teref levesa. When we speak Friday night about the woman of valor, Eshes Chayil, so we say that the different functions that she is doing. One of the functions is Vatokam Beit Laila, she got up at night, Vatitin Teref Levesa, she gave booty, she gave us the supplies to her house. So Chassidus explains that this female that we're referring to is Sfiras HaMalchus, is the attribute of Malchus, of royalty, which is referred to as female. And every night it descends into the lower worlds. It goes down from the world of Atzilus and it descends into the lower worlds, where it refines and elevates all the work that Yidden accomplished that day. And the next morning, in the morning davening, in the morning prayer, it elevates to a higher level with the davening together. So therefore it says, Vatokam Beit Laila, that she gets up in the night, which this is also the time, Chassidus explains, time that the person's digestive system works better than the whole day. The Frierdiker Rebbe says, in a Maamar, the previous Rebbe says, it's mentioned in Chassidus, that when a person has the higher vital organs that are functioning, so that is interfering with the digestive system. When the person is resting and he is not stressing himself, so therefore this is a time the digestive system works better without interference. Chassidus explains what is the example, what is the theme of a digestive system, that it separates the good from the bad. It separates the good from what needs to leave the body. The same thing is also in regards to Malchus. The royalty of, the attribute of royalty, which is the female in the higher worlds, descends into the lower worlds, and separates and sorts out what needs to be elevated and what needs to go through an additional refinement, a birur sheni, additional refinement. And this is what takes place at night, in the same way like a digestive system. And Memele, this is what it says, V'atokam beid laila. He gets up at night, V'atitin teref. The word teref adds up to 289, which is Gematria Rapach with the Kela, with the word itself. Teref is 289, which is the numerical value of the word Rapach, the 288 sparks, sacred sparks, and addition to the word itself, which sums up to which in total it sums up to 289. So this is basically how we express it every Friday night. Therefore, we understand the connection of the matan hatera to the giving of the Torah, the Kabbalah and receiving. Because by pay Torah, there's two inyanim. There's the matan Torah, there's Kabbalah Torah. The matan Torah is on the part of the Eibishter. The Kabbalah Torah is on the part of Yidden, the Jewish nation.
What's Kabbalah?
Receiving. Sharei, the Kabbalah Torah is the receiving of the Torah. Sharei Tachlis Torah lifel ba'elam. The purpose, the ultimate goal of Torah is to accomplish a world. Ubeloshna yodua masifri shatera nitna lase shalom ba'elam. The Torah was given to make shalom in the world. Uleficha chayetzarech lias betur agdoma v'achona lazeh aveda sha'elam yeroi likleit ulekabelas habirer v'azichach sha'idei Torah. Therefore, there was a need that as an introduction and as a preparation to this Aveda, in order that the world in order that it should accomplish in world peace, Torah should accomplish in world peace, world has to be an appropriate vessel to absorb and receive the refinement through Torah. And therefore there was a need of the introduction of the exile in Egypt, in Mitzrayim. And therefore exile of Egypt is referred to Korabaz like a furnace. In the same way that a Korabaz, which is a furnace, is to refine the silver and gold and separate it and sort it out from the lower class elements that are mixed in together with the kesef and zav, the silver and gold, and the extracts, and to separate between them, between the extracts and the silver and gold. The same thing was also in regards to the furnace in Mitzrayim, that it was a refinement of sorting out and separating the sparks of Kedusha and liberating them, that Yidden were able to leave Egypt. Especially after the Yidden, the Jewish nation, have left Egypt with the sparks of Kedusha, as it says, they emptied out Mitzrayim. The Omr Razal and the Gemara says, they made it like a net that doesn't have any fish in there, like something doesn't have any corn in it. In other words, with which a person collects corn, they emptied everything out. So the question is, why does the Gemara have to bring two examples? An example of a net, an example of and also an example of dry land, something that relates to a field of harvest. So what does it mean? So the Rebbe explains, that they refined the sparks that are in the hidden world, which the water